Today we're spending a day in Paris in the year 1800. I'll show you famous and political sites, as well as the daily lives of the people, and why Paris wasn't yet the city of love at that time. I will also show you the place where the world-famous Eiffel Tower stands today and what it looked like before. You step into Paris in the year 1800, and the city immediately closes in around you. The air is heavy with smoke from thousands of hearths, mixed with a sharp smell of waste and stagnant water. Narrow streets twist between tall, dark buildings, blocking the sky and trapping sound so that every footstep echoes and every cartwheel rattles across uneven cobblestones. Paris feels crowded, loud, and restless, a city that never truly sleeps, yet never fully rests. Life spills directly into the streets, where vendors shout, animals are driven through mud, and people brush past one another with practiced indifference. This is not a city designed for beauty or comfort, but for survival, shaped by density, noise, and constant movement. Paris in 1800 lives in the long shadow of the French Revolution. The revolution promised liberty and equality, but it also left behind exhaustion, mistrust, and deep political scars. Governments have risen and fallen with alarming speed, and many Parisians no longer know what stability even looks like. The old order is gone, but the new one is not yet fully formed. Napoleon Bonaparte is already a name spoken throughout the city, admired by some as a bringer of order and feared by others as another strong man born from chaos. In 1800, he governs as first consul, but his future role is not yet inevitable, and the city senses that history is still unfinished. At the center of political power stands the Tuileries Palace. Once a royal residence, it has become the seat of the new government, symbolizing how authority has changed hands without ever leaving Paris itself. Guards stand at its entrances, soldiers patrol the surrounding area, and uniforms are constant reminders that order now rests on military discipline as much as on law. Inside, administrators and officers move through long corridors, managing a state still rebuilding after years of upheaval. Decisions made here ripple outward across France and beyond, shaping taxation, military campaigns, and daily life. The Tuileries are more than a government building. They represent a transition from revolutionary chaos towards centralized authority, with Paris firmly established as the political nerve center of the nation. Amid the density and struggle, Paris offers controlled spaces where order briefly replaces chaos. The Jardin des Tuileries stretches beside the palace with straight paths, trimmed trees, and open sightlines designed to impose calm through symmetry and geometry. Here, officers, officials, and well-dressed citizens walk slowly, not to travel, but to be seen, turning movement itself into a social ritual. On the left bank, the Jardin du Luxembourg serves a similar role, drawing students, intellectuals, and the bourgeoisie into an environment deliberately separated from the harsh realities of the streets beyond its gates. These gardens are not escapes from society, but carefully managed versions of it, spaces where behavior is moderated and appearances matter. Only steps away lie foul air, crowded alleys, and constant struggle, making the contrast unmistakable. Beyond that part, the city itself struggles to function. Paris is built for another age, its medieval framework forced to contain a population it was never designed for. Buildings rise several stories high, packed tightly together, blocking light and air from reaching the streets below. Homes are overcrowded, often shared by multiple families, with the poorest living in damp ground floors or dark attics where ventilation barely exists. There is no modern sewage system, and waste is frequently dumped into streets or open channels, especially at night, contributing to constant filth and disease. Cleanliness is not a public concern, but a private luxury, and comfort depends entirely on social status. Paris functions not because it is well designed, but because its inhabitants have learned how to survive within its constraints. Movement through Paris is slow, physical, and exhausting. Most people travel on foot, navigating muddy, uneven streets crowded with carts, animals, and vendors. Walking is not a choice, but a necessity, and distance is measured in effort rather than kilometers. Horse-drawn carriages exist, but they belong to officials and the wealthy, and even they move slowly through frequent congestion. Water must be carried by hand, goods transported by cart, and communication relies on messengers rather than systems. Food governs daily life, and nothing matters more than bread. It forms the foundation of the urban diet across all social classes, and its price is watched with constant anxiety by both citizens and authorities. When bread becomes scarce or expensive, tension spreads quickly because hunger is immediate and physical. Working families spend much of their income on basic food, leaving little margin when prices rise or wages fall. Meals are simple and repetitive, usually bread, thin soups, vegetables, and occasional meat when circumstances allow. Memories of past shortages and riots remain close, reminding everyone how quickly hunger can turn into unrest. Along the banks of the Seine, the city briefly loosens its grip. Here lies a wide, open stretch of ground that feels unusually spacious compared to the dense heart of Paris. It is not a landmark or a place of beauty, but a functional area shaped by practicality rather than intention. Used for military drills, parades, storage, and temporary gatherings. Soldiers pass through, workers linger, and the river flows past carrying goods, people, and refuse through the city like a living artery. The surrounding area lacks monuments or symbols of power, offering only the sense of a city edge where Paris pauses before tightening again. This open field is known as the Champ de Mars, an anonymous and overlooked space defined entirely by utility. Only later will this ground gain meaning beyond its function, when an iron tower will rise here and come to symbolize Paris itself. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and write in the comments which city and which historical year you would like to see next. Thank you for your attention, and take care.